Dongcheng District, Beijing. The Dongcheng District simplified Chinese, Dongcheng, traditional Chinese, Dongcheng, pinyin Dingcheng, literally East City District of Beijing covers the eastern half of Beijing's urban core, including all of the eastern half of the Old City inside of the second ring road with the northernmost extent crossing into the area within the third ring road. It's 40.6 km to 15.7 sq mi. Area is further subdivided into 17 subdistricts. Settlement in the area dates back over a millennium. It did not formally become a district of the city until the establishment of the Republic of China in 1911. The name Dongcheng was first given to it in a 1958 reorganization. It has existed in its current form since a 2010 merger with the former Chongwen District to its south. Dongcheng includes many of Beijing's major cultural attractions, such as the Forbidden City and Temple of Heaven, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites. More than a quarter of the city's major national historical and cultural sites are inside its boundaries, with a similar percentage of those protected at the municipal level. Tiananmen Square is also in Dongcheng, along with other popular destinations for domestic and international tourists, such as the bars and nightlife in the hutongs of Nanluoguxiang and the shopping in Wangfujing. Over three-quarters of the district's economic activity is in the service sector. Geography. Dongcheng is often described and depicted on simplified maps as the eastern half of the area inside the second ring road. However, the district boundaries include some areas outside it as well, particularly on the north and east. In the former direction, a small projection crosses the third ring road. The 2010 merger with Chongwen added some land beyond the ring road on the south. Boundary. From Tiananmen Gate at the north end of the eponymous square, the district boundary follows West Chang'an Avenue to Cheng Street, where it turns north, taking in Zhongshan Park as it follows the western moat of the Forbidden City. At Wenjin Street it turns eastward to follow Jingshan Front Street between the Forbidden City and Jingshan Park. It resumes its northward course along Jingshan East Street, turning west along Jingshan Back Street, thus leaving all of Jingshan in the Dongcheng District to the west. At Tiananmen Inner Street it turns north again, following the east-west line that formally divided Beijing in the mid-15th century. After a short turn to the west at the Bell and Drum Towers along Gilu West Street, it resumes its northward course along Gilu Street, which it follows north for several kilometers, past the second ring road to Andeli Street north. At the street's end, the edge of Rendinghu Park, it follows the park edge to the northeast. The boundary turns east at Huangxi Street, following the rear property lines of buildings on the north side. It crosses the street again a block east of Gilu Outer Street, where it follows the northern edge of Lian Park. From the park's northeastern corner it goes due east to Andingmen Outer Street, where it turns north. It continues north across the third ring road for a kilometer to Jianan East Road, where it turns east, just south of Yuandalu Chengyuan Ruins Park. This is the district's northernmost section, now bordering on the Kaohsiung District. After 500 m, it zigzags south, southeast and then west again along local streets to Shenggu Middle Road. There it turns south and crosses the ring road again, continuing on Zhao Hengjuang North Street. Another zigzag takes it along Zhao Hengjuang, Tsinghua and Qingyinggu roads to Haipingli East Street, where it turns south to turn east again along Haipingli North Street. At Jialan Alley it turns south again, following another irregular path through the neighborhoods here to just east of Minwang Hutong. At the river paralleling the second ring road on its north, it turns east briefly to follow that cross under the Airport Expressway along Zhang Middle Street. A short section detours north to take in some of the buildings on the north side of Zhang Road, after which it returns to what is now Zhang North Street. Turning southeast along Zhuozhuang West Street, the boundary turns to follow the north bank of the landmark river eastward at the Chungxiu Road intersection. The river bends to the east and then southeast, where a short tributary comes in 200 m west of Chengxiu. It follows that back to Chengxiu at its intersection with Dongcheng Outer Street. Rejoining Chengxiu, the boundary stays with it for another 1 km 0.62 mi to Beijing Workers' Stadium, where it becomes Workers' Stadium West Road, with Workers' Indoor Arena on the east side. At Dongyingfeng Hutong, it turns west again, following Jishikou East Road north for a block, then turning west on Penjipao Hutong. A brief northward turn at Dongcheng Street brings it back to the second ring road via Fuhua South Street. From that point the boundary largely follows the ring road south, with a few diversions to take in all of the exit ramps at the Jiangyuomen Street interchange and some open land at the Tonghui River to its south. At Longton Park, in the southeast corner of the district, it curves west with the road to form the district's southern boundary with the Fengtai District. Just past Temple of Heaven Park, in the Yongdingmen area, it leaves the ring road to take in a roughly triangular area to the south that includes the Beijing South Railway Station. It then follows Yongdingmen, Tankiao, and Tiananmen streets due north back to the southern end of Tiananmen Square. There it turns west briefly, then goes up the square's west road between the China Numismatic Museum and the Great Hall of the People. At the square's north end is West Chang'an Avenue. Physical. Like most of Beijing, the district is consistently level, with an elevation of 30-50 meters 98,164 ft above sea level, reflecting the city's location on the North China Plain. There are a few significant bodies of water, all lakes in parks: Lian Lake in that park and Youth Lake in Qingnianhu Park, both in the district's northern portion, and Dragon Lake in Longton Park at the district's southeast corner. On the west-central edge is the moat surrounding the Forbidden City. The Nanchang River, heavily channelized from its days as the once walled city's north moat, flows across the district's north, with the south moat paralleling the second ring road along its southern boundary. Along the southern edge of the Forbidden City another small stream, the Changpu River, flows above ground for a kilometer. Much of the district is densely developed, with major streets following a grid plan while the side streets connecting them are irregular. Temple of Heaven Park is the largest, at 267 hectares 660 acres, with the 42.7 hectare 106 acre Temple of Earth Park in the Hepingli subdistrict in second. In addition to the parks already mentioned, others of note include Dongdan Park off that street in the central area of the district and Nangyuan Park near the northeast corner. Some major arteries also have wide planted median strips. The Russian Embassy complex just inside the ring road at the northeast corner of the district also has another large planted area, although it is fenced off. The most significant non-park urban open space in the district is the 44 hectare 110 acre Tiananmen Square at its west central point. It is a stone-paved pedestrian area, with the monument to the people's heroes and Jianying Gate bracketing its one building, the Mausoleum of Mao Zedong. To the square's immediate north, the 72 hectare 180 acre Forbidden City complex also has many vast courtyards. At the east end, the Workers' Gymnasium has some large paved areas and open lawns in its vicinity. There is also a large open plaza in front of the Beijing railway station. Architecture in the district varies greatly. It ranges in form from the small 1- and 2-story ancient stone houses in the Sihayuan plan that line the district's many hutongs, the narrow winding lanes that make up many neighborhoods on the side streets, to taller modern office buildings and hotels. Styles include the traditional Chinese architecture of the 15th century imperial buildings in the Forbidden City and the various temples, the fin de siècle European revival styles in the legation quarter to the modern styles of today's newest buildings. The district has over a quarter of Beijing's major national historical and cultural sites, and a similar portion of its municipal level heritage listings. Two of those, the Forbidden City and Temple of Heaven, are further inscribed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. History. Dongcheng's history dates back over a millennium, long predating the city's current boundaries. Settlement of the area between the city's inner and outer walls began during the Liao dynasty in the 10th century CE, when small hamlets began to form outside the northeastern corner of what was then the city, now the Forbidden City. Growth continued through the Jin dynasty, which succeeded the Liaos in the 12th century. Under the Jins, the area first became known as the northeastern part of the capital, then known as Zhongdu. When Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty later in the century, he rebuilt the city and renamed it Dadu. As part of that project, the future Dongcheng District's boundaries were first officially drawn, although they were different from today's. The Yongle Emperor, Zhu Dai III of the Ming dynasty, took the throne at the beginning of the 15th century. He built the present-day Forbidden City, now part of Dongcheng, as his palace inside the walls of the original city. Outside it, Dongcheng had 15 lanes at that time, the beginnings of its many hutongs. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, the area began to become a desirable residence for both government officials. They built themselves the Sihayuan courtyard-style houses that remain a valued part of the district's cultural heritage. The kings stationed 4 divisions of their army in the district, which was officially at the time part of Daxing County, now a district south of the city. The overthrow of the kings and the establishment of the Republic of China in the wake of the Xinhai Revolution of 1911 led to the area northeast of the Forbidden City being opened to the public for the first time. Under the government of the new Republic of China, the districts of Beijing were reorganized. Today's Dongcheng was known as the Inner First and Inner Third Districts. 4 decades later, the communist victory in the Chinese Civil War led to the People's Republic of China displacing the Republic as the sovereign government of mainland China. This had 2 effects on Dongcheng. First, the 2 districts in the area were renamed Dongxi and Dongdan, corresponding to streets that still exist in the northern and central portions of the district. In 1952, 6 years later, the 2 were merged and renamed Dongcheng. That district was then merged with the Chongwen District to its south in 2010. Secondly, many of the wealthy Sihayuan residents fled to Taiwan or elsewhere in anticipation of the communist victory and the likely expropriation of their property. Those who remained or did not leave in time indeed suffered that fate. The new government subdivided many of the houses in order to deliver on its promise of better housing for the working class, and the neighborhood culture of the hutongs was sustained. However, the increased wealth in China created by the economic reforms of the late 20th century, following the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989, put pressure on Beijing's city government to demolish hutongs in Dongcheng and elsewhere. They were perceived as architecturally undistinguished substandard slums that could not be fully modernized, to be replaced by urban renewal projects such as the Oriental Plaza Mall complex that would impress visitors to the 2008 Summer Olympics. Often, many poorer residents found themselves displaced, unable to afford the luxury housing that replaced their demolished homes. In the 1990s, it was estimated that 40% of Beijing's old city, which includes Dongcheng, had been demolished. Some predictions suggest that if demolition continues at its current pace, eventually 90% of the old city will be gone. Efforts by preservationists to protect the hutongs were only partly successful, and developers and officials often ignored them. A battle over the city's proposed redevelopment of South Chizhi Street, alongside the Forbidden City's southeast corner, at first attracted attention due to its high visibility location, but ultimately only 9 of over 200 Sihayuns in the blocks east of the street escaped demolition. They have been replaced by architecturally sympathetic new construction that is among the most expensive housing in the city. Government. Dongcheng is run by several committees. The District Committee of the Communist Party of China (CPC), the nation's ruling party, is its local organization. The District People's Congress is responsible for most major decisions as well as implementing national and local laws and regulations. Its members, all appointed by the CPC, elect their leadership and local officials. The People's Government, composed of several local commissions, makes local laws and enforces administrative policy. Lastly, The District Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference serves an advisory function. All four committees are headed by chairs, appointed by the CPC to 5-year terms. While most of China's major government bodies are headquartered in the neighboring Dongcheng District, there are 100 lesser ones in offices throughout Dongcheng. Two major agencies in the district are the Civil Aviation Administration of China COC, which occupies a large building on Dongxi Street, and the China Maritime Safety Administration on Jiangyuomen Inner Avenue. The Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau is also headquartered in Dongcheng. Economy. In 2017, the regional GDP of the district was 392.7 billion yuan, with GDP per capita at 321.4 thousand yuan. Owing to its many tourist attractions, much of Dongcheng's economy is in the service sector, which in 2001 accounted for 88% of the district's share of China's gross domestic product. Foreign direct investment at that time was estimated to be US $247.06 million and rising. Dongcheng is home to some of Beijing's most prestigious hotels, like the Beijing Hotel Complex and the nearby Grand Hyatt on East Chang'an Avenue near Tiananmen Square. Near those hotels are the shopping opportunities of the malls at Oriental Plaza, once Asia's largest, and the Wangfujing pedestrian mall, a big draw for domestic tourists. Further to the north, younger Beijingers and foreigners often visit the hutongs of Nanluoguxiang, east of the Bell and Drum Towers, for its bar and nightlife offerings. While most of Beijing's major corporate buildings are located in the city's central business district in the Chongwen District to Dongcheng's north and east, some are within the district. China National Petroleum Corporation and subsidiary PetroChina share one headquarters facility just inside the district at the Tiananmen intersection along the Second Ring Road. Air Koryo has an office in the Swiss Hotel Beijing in Dongcheng District. Beijing's current master plan designates Dongcheng as one of the city's 4 core zones. To enhance the district's combination of commercial and cultural attractions, it calls for giving priority to service and high-tech industries within it. 3 areas in particular are singled out for attention: Wangfujing, the eastern portion of the Second Ring Road, and the High Technology Park near the Lama Temple at Yanghegong Road and the Ring Road. The plan also calls for the preservation of the city's historic landscape and renovation of dilapidated houses. Tax credits are available to eligible businesses that generate at least 500,000 renminbi in contributions in their first years of operation in the district. Administrative divisions. The district contains 17 subdistricts. Transport. Metro. Dongcheng is currently served by 9 metro lines of the Beijing Subway. Line 1 Tiananmen East, Wangfujing Dongdan 5, Jiangyuomen 2, Line 2 Kaianmen, Chongwenmen 5, Beijing Jiangyuomen 1, Kaliangmen 6, Dongxi Shixiao, Dongzhaimen 13 Capital Airport, Yanghegong Lama Temple 5, Andingmen, Yilaodaji 8, Line 5 Hepingli Beiji, Yanghegong Lama Temple 2, Beixinqiao, Jiangzhonglu, Dongxi 6, Dengshiku Dongdan 1, Chongwenmen 2, Sikaku 7, Tantandongmen and Dongmen, Line 6 Nanluoguxiang 8, Dongxi 5, Kaliangmen 2, Men 2, Men 2, and Men 2, Line 7 Joshiku Kaiyawan, Sikaku 5, Wangkumen Guangkumen Y, Humen Y, Line 8 Andalibaji, Gilaodaji 2, Shichahai Nanluoguxiang 6, Line 13 Dongzhaimen 2 Capital Airport, Line 14 Yongdingmen Y Jingtai, Capital Airport Express Dongzhaimen 213. Education. Primary and secondary schools. Throughout Dongcheng are many of Beijing's public schools. Some of its high schools have been added to the city's list of beacon high schools, those that consistently maintain high standards. Among them are Beijing No. 166 High School on Tongfu Alley just off Dengshiku Street, Beijing Human Middle School on Pekson Street in the former Chongwen District, and Beijing No. 5 High School on Ziguan Hutong east of Nanluoguxiang. Another secondary institution of note, Beijing Jingshan School, is also located on Dongcheng Qū Road. On Tiananmen Inner Street, Beijing No. 25 Middle School has a dual Chinese-Canadian diploma program. The Beijing Dongcheng Human Elementary School Beijing Shi Dongcheng Human Zhu serves the local Hui population. Post-secondary schools. From its founding in the early 20th century to the Japanese occupation of eastern China in 1937, Peking University was housed in the Belgian-designed brick Honglu or Red House at Wuxi and Beihan streets. Mao Zedong worked in the library there, where he was among the leaders of the May 4th movement that lent its name to Wuxi Street, an experience that later led him to help found the Communist Party of China. The university moved out to a larger campus in the Haidian district when Mao established the People's Republic of China. Shortly after the university moved, Mao established the Central Academy of Drama, the only institution of higher education currently in the district. Many accomplished Chinese actors have graduated from it, and it is considered one of the best drama schools in China, East Asia, and Asia. It is located on Dingmian Hua Hutong, a short distance west of Nanluoguxiang. Visitor attractions. Some of the well-known areas in Dongcheng District are Twin Cities,